Spider-Man Far From Home is right around the corner, and there are a lot of crazy rumors about things that will happen in that movie. Today I want to go over some of the craziest rumors of things that will happen in the movie, and I'm going to tell you whether or not I think they will actually take place. Today's shout out goes to Vastian Creed. Indeed, Cadaverous will be the villain for the J.J. Abrams Spider-Man run. We'll do another nerd card question at the end of this video. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds, and happy Monday to you. And I know, Mondays, man, Mondays are terrible. But don't worry, we've got you covered. We've got a nice, tasty Spider-Man Far From Home episode for you today. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, I haven't really been following the rumor mill or the leakage mill. I haven't been following the leaks for Spider-Man Far From Home nearly as much as I had been following this stuff for Avengers Endgame, but I have been hearing some stuff, and I recently did a little deep dive on all of the crazy rumors of things that will happen in this movie, and man, some of these are probably true, and I'm not that pumped about them. So here's what I want to do. I'm organizing this episode like according to how spoilery things are. So the least spoilery stuff will be first. I'll go over a few things, rumors, things that I think will happen, and then we'll go over some really big potential spoilers for the films, things that are rumored and leaked out there online right now. And I'll warn you as spoilery stuff comes up. I should also mention all of this stuff is a rumor at this point. Nothing is confirmed, but you know how these weird leaks go. Some of them will likely actually end up in the film. It's like, I don't know, they're rumors, but they're accurate. All right, let's start with the first rumor, and this one's pretty obvious, but the big one is that, of course, Mysterio will not be a good guy. He will not be the hero. He will have a nefarious plan, and he will betray Spider-Man. Okay, now this is pretty obvious to anybody that's read a single comic in their life. But I think the real crux of this theory and rumor all has to do with the elementals being fake, or perhaps members of the Sinister Six that are utilizing their power and combining it with the technology that Mysterio has in order to pull the wool over a lot of people's eyes. I think Mysterio does want to be seen as a hero, but he definitely has like villainous reasons for doing that. Okay, so without spoiling anything or going into some of the details that I've heard online about how this will play out, this has been something that people have talked about, and we're pretty sure it's going to happen in the movie. Now, the next big rumored revelation or big thing to happen in this movie all has to do with Norman Osborn. Now, this here gets just slightly more spoilery than the Mysterio stuff, but really not that bad, okay? Interestingly enough, some of the usual suspects when it comes to like leaks and breaking stories and sort of teasing us with info, some of the people in that community actually are conflicting about this Norman Osborn thing. A lot of people online ran with this, a lot of scoopsters from Reddit ran with it, and then after seeing the movie and having it screened for her, Grace Randolph said something to the effect of that Osborn is coming, or at least heavily implied that. But then Jeremy Conrad from MCU Cosmic came out and said, according to his sources, that's not true, that Grace Randolph's scoop, if you will, about Norman Osborn being in the movie is not true. Now, we've reported on this channel about how Norman Osborn is likely to be in that movie. A lot of signs point to it. I believe a lot of the leaks, but I think it's actually gonna happen in a post-credit scene. And there have been some leaks to support this. Now, whether or not this is just the most obvious choice and we're all pretty sure this is how it will happen, or there have been legitimate leaks of the scene, there is supposedly a scene after the movie in the post-credits where Norman Osborn is introduced. And what's cool about this is the movie will focus on Mysterio, really focus on the Mysterio plot, Spider-Man and his conflict with that character, and then you sort of get Osborn sort of tagged onto the end of that. I think that's really good because you don't want to like muddy up this movie too much with too many villains. That tends to be a Spider-Man problem. This could also explain why Jeremy Conrad from MCU Cosmic is saying that it's not in the movie, and then Grace Randolph is saying that he'll be introduced when the movie comes out. They could both be saying similar things, like the truth from a certain point of view. But yeah, that's a big rumor out there for Spider-Man Far From Home. It's something people are talking about. All right, so this one gets pretty spoilery. I think this might actually happen, and it potentially is a big thing in the movie. So, check out now if you don't want to hear this. If you're still here, it's your fault. You know that, right? Okay, so rumor is Nick Fury in Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be revealed to be not Nick Fury. And at first I was like, what? Is he going to be a Skrull? Is this sort of the start of a secret invasion? Is this something crazy like that? But apparently not. It's the Chameleon. Yeah, the Chameleon is Nick Fury. No, I tried to give my opinion too heavily on things, but this sucks terrible. I hope it's not true. But because I hate it, I'm starting to think that it likely is true, that they're gonna make Chameleon Nick Fury in the film. Now, the reason I don't like this is because, like, Nick Fury is the man. He's the super spy. He should always be in charge. Now, if they find a way to do it where maybe Nick Fury was double-crossing Chameleon and Mysterio, allowing him to think that he didn't know what was going on, and maybe Maria Hill knows it's not him the whole time as well, you know, maybe that would be dope. Maybe they could make it work. But I'm not thrilled about the idea that Nick Fury is just taken over by Chameleon, who's like a C-level villain at best, and this guy somehow infiltrates S.H.I.E.L.D.? Now, I love the idea of villains on Earth being opportunistic in, you know, the wake of Endgame. After the snap happened, things are crazy. I love that idea. That's why I think Norman Osborn and going with Dark Reign is an awesome idea for the MCU. But Chameleon pretending to be Nick Fury, ugh, no. That was leaked by a couple of people on Reddit, you know, actually months ago, and I read it and I was like, oh man, I really hope not. And the more I thought about it, I was like, maybe, probably, damn it. Okay, now this one's pretty crazy. If it's true, it's a massive spoiler. It's a big deal for the MCU. So again, huge spoiler warning, but I'm actually not 100% like sure on this one. I don't know if this one's actually gonna take place. Like, I'm more convinced that Chameleon's gonna be Nick Fury, which I'm kind of pissed about, than I am about this, even though I would love it if this was true. And this rumor all has to do with Tony Stark, that when Tom Holland puts on the Tony Stark glasses, that he will be greeted by a Tony Stark AI voiced by Robert Downey Jr. himself. I love this 3000, man. This would be amazing because we talked about this. If Tony bit the dust in Endgame, we were speculating for a straight year about this. And we thought, you know, if he bit the dust, he could at least come back as an AI, much like Jarvis and Friday before that. It'd be the perfect way to sort of keep him around, have him sort of still play a role, but also let these other characters take the main stage. It would also be very cool for the Peter Parker character to have this kind of interaction with Tony Stark. I think it would be really, really cool. Get some closure for that arc. And I'm about 50-50 on this actually happening. I've heard it a couple of different places online, but I haven't heard it from good source. And that's it, the biggest rumors and potential spoilers for Spider-Man Far From Home. What do you think about these things? Do you think they're going to happen? Would you be okay with them happening? Just let me know your thoughts generally about these crazy rumors for Spider-Man Far From Home. All right, let's check the nerd card before we get out of here. I want to know, what Earth is Mysterio from in Spider-Man Far From Home? He told us what Earth it was in one of the TV spots. So let me know your answer in the comments section below. What Earth is Mysterio from? Guys, if you're still here, real quickly, I just want to plug the Patreon. So we've had a Patreon for a long time, but I'm actually revamping it and trying to add a ton of value over there. And this Thursday night, I'm putting up a big video there, which is going to explain what the new Patreon is going to be, why it's a big deal, and why it's important, especially now that I'm going full time to try to create this company and sort of grow the Den of Nerds into a big brand. So if you're a big fan of the content we've been making on this channel, I just recommend you check out the Patreon video. It's not gonna cost you anything. It'll go up free on the Patreon. It'll just be a video up on that page that you can check out Thursday night, and I'll sort of tell you more about the future of the Den of Nerds in that video. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.